Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Richard, and this is Richard's channel, and of course, for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I purchased one of these bracelets from the company 4Ocean, and 4Ocean pulls a pound of trash out of the big blue for me. So if you could support this channel by commenting, liking, subscribing if you haven't already, that would be just wonderful for our planet. But had a very interesting event happen to me. It involves this little square of plastic and gold. This, of course, is a memory card for my camera. Probably the first one I ever purchased for this camera specifically. It's made in Taiwan. It is 10 years old. This is a Transcend SDHC 33 gigabyte Series 10. And the interesting thing about it is, of course, that twice while I was filming in 1 week, it failed to read. And the camera said, hey, you ain't got a card in here. Something's wrong. You know, it's got these little, this is actually gold. These little teeth back here. I don't know if you can see them. Or feet is what they're called. And there are pins inside the camera that poke in and touch the feet. And if you could see this, you would know that there are actually little scratches where the pins have scratched the surface to make that contact. So this is an ominous sign, because you're talking about something that has no moving parts failing. And I mean, at the time, I think that thing was $25. Now, it's about $10 to replace it, but, you know, I was sitting there going, I could try cleaning it, but the fact is that it's not worth cleaning it in order to replace it. I just paid something like $40, got 2 new ones that are twice the capacity, and that should be faster for downloading so that I'll get them onto my computer faster. But then I realized after they came in, if this is wearing down, my computer, or my camera is wearing down. You know, so I don't want to be pulling the card out as much as I am. You know, it's really annoying for the camera. And moreover, this camera is 10 years old, and, well, I don't even know if they'd been making DSLRs for 10 years. 10 years ago, they were kind of a somewhat new thing. I mean, the DSLR started, you had enough memory for like 1 roll of film worth, because it was replacing a film camera. You couldn't shoot digital. And in fact, I think these cards, like, it has to be a Series 6 in order to do video or something like that. And the Series 10 was the best one there is. But there's not recording, but transferring. There's now like a something else, like a U or a Y or something that's the new thing that I went out there and said, okay, get me the good one. I want to have something that is going to work fast, because if it ever does come down to my livelihood being somehow linked to this camera, which is what I'd like it to be, yeah, I may need that extra time. I mean, that's one of those things that if I were a celebrity, like, oh, I don't know, Conan O'Brien maybe, Seth Meyers. How much is Seth Meyers' time worth? Okay, the card screwing up can cost maybe 20 minutes. Seth Meyers, his time is worth, you know, maybe $10 a minute. I'm not kidding. I remember there was a friend of mine. Now he's not a friend anymore, but guy I knew. He wanted to do a video game, and he wanted this actress to be in his video game. So he somehow gets a hold of her agent and says, you know, well, how much would it cost? He goes, well, we generally charge $8,000 a day. And he just like freaks, and he tells me that, and I said, well, that's about right. He goes, Well, how is that about right? It's like, look, that's what these people are worth. People pay $8,000 a day for this woman to be on set. That's just what they do. So yeah, on the one hand, it's worth it to buy equipment to make things go faster, to save the man hours. I mean, I bought this camera, the one I'm shooting on now, because I had a camera. It was an HD camera. It was a $100 little thing I had gotten maybe a month, 2 months earlier. And for some reason, I just couldn't get it to make a file, to make a video. There's something went wrong. So that was when I said, okay, that's it. I want at least a semi-professional camera, which I'm shooting on a Canon 60D. So semi-professional camera, and I'm going to do this right. I've done no more stuff that goes wrong. I've spent 3 or 4 hours, and it's just, yeah, because I'm not getting paid for it, that might be fine, but I'm missing opportunities. I'm not putting out content. Oh, this leads to a really difficult situation of, I should really fill up these cards every time I take them out. I mean, I should keep going until they lock up. Although, to be completely honest with you, that's not a good idea. Not a perfect idea either. What you would want to do is say, okay, I'm going to do 20 videos, or maybe 20 files, because I have videos that are 1/4 of a file for this thing. And that's just how it works. But one of those things is like, yeah, I am filming this on the 6th of February. Okay, it's not going to be published then, but I'm filming this on the 6th of February, and I have not put out a single book haul for this month. I have to do at least one every day, so I'm 6 days behind. I've got about 3 days worth of movie reviews for Random Street Theater that I can spend 3 days trying to fill up this card. But in those 3 days, I would want to film 10 book hauls a day, so that I can get all of this month, and then, I'll have 10 to post that day, just post, and then after that it's one every day, and again, you try to keep up at that point. So it's like, you have a filming day, you're cramming things in. The other thing about that, of course, is that before I put this card in my camera, the card that's in now, which is another 32 gigabyte, I pulled the batteries out and I recharged them. And I mean, yes, I could have another set of batteries ready to go, but it's actually better for the batteries if you don't decharge them all the way. That old wives' tale that, you charge batteries all the way down or they get a memory. No, they're breaking down. That's why they have less charge in them. And charging them all the way down actually makes them break down faster. It is a lie that the manufacturers came up with in order to get you to destroy the batteries and have to buy new ones. So, there's that. But yeah, what it comes down to is there is a possibility that the failure of equipment could get me off of YouTube. Probably not the failure of this camera, because whereas a modern version of this camera is $1,000, I'm pretty sure I could get a used one, and the used one would get me back running for a year or two. Or I could probably get a new one that just never sold, or a used like new. Most people buy these cameras and sit them on the shelf. Oh, I'll go on vacation someday, and that's what they do. But if my main computer dies, well, that is $1,000 to replace, minimum. And then I'm in trouble. It's not that I don't have $1,000. It's just the main question of, if YouTube is not making me money, why am I spending that much on it? I mean, don't get me wrong, I like what I do. Now, most people over a 10-year period easily used to spend $30,000 on their hobby. That changed in the last 10 years, and now most people, if their hobby doesn't make them some kind of money, they find a different hobby. Anyway, so that's just a situation I'm in. Just randomly would like to hear some thoughts. I'm Richard.